have to trust that the film is going to make itself when it wants to make itself.
Facing the camera in frame, closer to the edge of the, closer to the edge. Where's Ari?
He's doing a wee. You're right, just nice. Okay. Do I have the toll?
Do you have the toll? Finish to pay. Curse the goblin bridge, you need to pay the toll.
And there's the other one.
It's a negative bridge.
Video it so we can.
You've just lost your brother, you've just lost a lot of shit. You're in this real stuffy situation and you don't want it, you don't mind going toe to toe with it. Sticks or anything jutting out?
There's a hole.
Just walk it, bro.
That's what I'm trying to do.
I got that.
What's up behind you? How's it smell, bro?
Dude, I'm telling you, it smells like shit, man.
Just talk to us, man. What are you feeling?
I feel my pulling inside me.
No, like what's on the ground? Is it 2 meters there, like he says it is?
Well, directing is a very busy profession, is it not?
Like, you mean like busy idiot?
It depends on how you direct.
Because sometimes that's how it feels. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm happy to be here, and yeah, I'm happy to be here, and also, like, awesome. Like, we're here, we're at the end. It's been 3 years, 2 years.
I think it's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years,
2 or 3 years.
It's Ravens Hollow, and I'm excited to revisit it with you.
Yes, well, it's definitely been an experience we've all enjoyed. And speaking of Ravens Hollow, what is Ravens Hollow in your own words? How would you describe it?
Like, you mean the title or the film?
The film itself, how would you describe the film in your own words?
One, adventure. It's definitely adventure. 2, it's family. And 3, it's fun and humor. Those were kind of the big elements when we decided to put the Ravens Hollow together. Before the story, we had the characters. And the characters, when I was first introduced to them, were so colorful and like crazy and chaotic and wild, and it embodied everything that was kind of like our 90s generation of family adventure type films. And that's where I was first introduced to it. After that, the story came, and in all honesty, the story kind of takes a second seat to the characters in the film, if you kind of look at it from that way.
Well, there's a number of, like you said, there's a number of different colorful characters that we all came to enjoy watching, playing, experiencing, all that kind of stuff. And like, in speaking of characters, notable characters, any personal favorites?
That's a tough one. It's a tough one. Look, first of all, I want to give a big ups to Navarre, played by Stephen Pearson. Awesome actor, did a great job with the character, brought him to life. He's that real stern pirate rogue type character. Got to give props to him, but I mean, hey, you can't, for me personally, always puts a smile on my face whenever I think of this character, and it's definitely Ari in this film.
2 things in your life make sure are always fresh. The first is your food whenever you are fit. And the second is any lass you plan to take to. Oh, good morning, roomie.
What the hell?
Did you sleep well?
What are you doing?
Forgive my manners. One moment. Oh, just 1 second, mate. Ooh, new blend. Less splinters. I like this one. Aurelian Tithius Quintus Thristriperus III, firstborn and last remaining heir of the High Court of Elderwood. At your service.
When he was in the
you
jail,
are?
in the jail scene,
Alaric.
Ari introduces
Pleasure
himself
to
to
meet
Alaric. Navarre then comes into the picture. And as Navarre walks into the picture, Ari craps himself, picks up his bucket, and crab walks into the shadows. And it was the best improv piece ever because we didn't have that in there. We just had him kind of, you grab your bucket and get out the way slowly. But he crab walked perfectly into the shadow and it cut him out completely. The best part was we had hay on the ground, so you could hear his feet go
Yeah.
all the way through.
Right.
How are you going to beat a beggar in a potato sack suit?
There's so much potential you could do with just that.
With God knows what underneath the potato sack. And that was
I don't want to think about
in
that.
all honesty, that was part the X factor. That was part the, I don't want to use the word excitement, intrigue, caution, those hazardous, those are the sorts of words that come to mind when you meet Ari. Because you know subconsciously that you're not sure whether he's actually wearing something underneath that potato sack suit or not. And I don't want to ask him.
Well, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna say, unfortunately, I was caught privy to a couple of those shots at that angle. I wouldn't recommend it, ladies and gentlemen, but that's how films go. You got to do what you got to do. But no, it was great. Ari was.
He's a fantastic.
He was great.
Yeah, he's a
with his
fantastic
position.
actor. He's very professional as well, and he delivers. You know, when the scene needs it. So
He really made the character.
Oh.
He really brought it to life.
absolutely.
Cool. Here we go. And now we're cutting to Vida. Vida, you're drinking. Cool. Okay, Vida, you're gonna.
Now we're going to delve a little bit deeper for a minute. What were you trying to say with this film, whether it be emotionally or thematically?
Look, I don't think we were trying to say much. I think from the very beginning we kept it very simple, and we held on to one idea, and the idea was to bring a fun adventure film to the screen, a film that embodied and captured all of our favorite characters from, you know, from a time. I'm not that old, but from a time.
Hey, I didn't say
from a
anything.
time away. And you know, all of these great characters that were brought to the screen. That's the sort of stuff that inspired us and kind of gave us the spirit to bring about this film. So yeah, in terms of the statement that we were trying to make, I don't think we really cared. I think what we were doing was we were just following what was inside us in terms of, hey, we're going to bring back all of the stuff that we enjoyed, all the stuff that we watched as kids. We're going to throw all that together, as messy as it may seem, and we're going to chuck it on the screen and sit back and just absolutely enjoy it. And that's what we did.
Now, speaking of interests and speaking of like the feelings and stuff like that, when making this particular film, what did you want the audience to feel when they left? When they finished the film? What do you
That
want
was
them to
simple.
feel?
We wanted them in a sense of adventure and awe. We wanted them like throughout making the film. We were constantly thinking about how can we make this funnier? How can we make this more adventurous? How can we get people off their seats? We were enthralled in our own sense of excitement. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to bring that excitement to the audience, and that was kind of front and foremost. But I think subconsciously as well, and I think looking back at it 2 years later, um, I see that somewhere deep down we also wanted the audience to feel some sort of a change, in the sense that we wanted them to feel touched, moved, and inspired by what a small independent film group was able to do back then. You know, so yeah, I think that was, looking back at it now, years later, I think that definitely had something to do with it. What's up, everybody? It's Shoan here from Emerald Raven Productions, your director. I just wanted to say what an amazing year we've had. We're out here down south on this beautiful location doing a little bit of scouting work, making sure that we can bring some amazing scenery to the big screen. On behalf of Emerald Raven Productions, Roxy, our family, we'd like to say thank you for being by us. Thank you for all the hard work that you guys have done, cast, crew, and everybody else that's gotten involved in this film. And we want to wish you all a happy new year, and we can't wait to get our hands stuck into this and bring this show to the big screen. Peace.
Chariot wheels, perhaps.
Hey, look at this. What? Oh, this is the picture. This is the, oh, look at this.
Yeah, so you've got another
Oh,
expand.
mate, this is fantastic. here.
Not flat, but another expand. More open area on the other side here, but it's not flat. You know, a good look around there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Don't be concerned. There's feral deer on the place. You know, they could dive out at any second.
Mate, this is so much fun.
Once, like the axis is point to where you had to open the gates.
Yep.
But beyond there, it's difficult. You're going to definitely have to lean forward or drive.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good old Hondas. He's not moving, look at him.
And that one there, looking right We've run out of clutch, that's the problem. Smell the smoke? Yeah, no good.
Yeah. Snakes?
Shown because there could be black snakes.
Yeah, alright.
As a director,
Right.
what was the biggest challenge during production?
Oh, like you're talking about like every minute, or
Just in general,
every hour,
like
or every day, or every interaction, or
director's choice.
look. I feel that was a loaded question, but it's also a very true question. The biggest challenge on set for the Ravens Hollow film never stopped. It was the biggest challenge on set was like a constant friend that came around and goes, "Hey man, how you going today?" every day we'd have something, and that's very normal on film sets. But I think with the lack of experience that I had, it felt like why me sort of thing, you know. But we never approached, me and my team never approached this thing like we were going to complain about what was going wrong. We were indie film, we're an indie company, and we knew it was going to be tough. We had problems. I wish I could rap as good as you. I wish I could rhyme as good as you. We had problems from everything from audio, visual, dialogue, hearing, communication, notepads, pens, paper, whatever you can think of, we had it. A few that comes to mind: massive set up in the escarpment down south somewhere on a hill. We ferry. So it was constant problem solving that whole day. How do you get 20 people from the bottom of the hill up into this Jurassic Park type environment, right? How do you get them all there? And then you have to pitch up tents and do all this stuff and then shoot your scene in sequence, right? Mind you, getting him there was like, we had 3 4-wheel drives, we were ferrying him through, the roads were ridiculous. Like, when I first scouted it, I was like, oh my God, look how good this stuff is. Hey, look at this. What? Oh, this is the picture. I was like, look, and there's ducks, and there's a pond, and like, look at that hill, it looks so great. Oh, mate, this is fantastic. And then you get there in the 4-wheel drive, and you're like, holy shit, look at that hill. How, everybody hold on. Like, it was literally, and then we had one actress, God bless her soul, she's a really cool chick. She played Celeste, Hannah Forsyth, really cool actress. And I said, look, you're gonna have to jump in with Josiah, our young Alaric, and he had a 4-wheel drive, and they had come back, so they'd pulled up to the site, and she looked like white as a ghost, and she was like, oh my God, that was the most insane that was the most insane trip to get here. But we had challenge upon challenge upon challenge, and the point of that story is at the very end of it, when we finally got all the actors there, we started rolling camera, we're in the middle of nowhere, the generators didn't work. So we had zero power. Zero power. So the cameras weren't powered, and like the cinema camera wasn't working. Anything else that needed power, our computer screens, laptops, everything was out. Till today, I still can't remember how we got out of that situation, but we got away with some good footage. We were very frugal with the camera that day, I'm pretty sure. I think there was a lot of blocking. We were shooting it like we shot film, and it was costing us $2,000 a minute. We would block everything, and then as soon as it was like, cameras rolling, everybody was like, freaking game time. And I swear that day, we probably shot about 15 minutes of footage before the camera died. And it was the most solid 15 minutes we'd ever shot, ever.
Well, that's good. High risk, high reward.
It was running on small battery. But yeah, so yes, problems left, right, and center.
Now, you have the characters.
Correct.
So you had the characters. They looked great. But the story, how long did it take to develop the script and even further the world?
Look, I'm not going to lie. It took an insane amount of time, especially starting out in the film industry and starting out with a feature like this. It took us a long time. It wasn't about writing one script and that was it. We thought that was the case, but it took us a lot longer than that. You're talking like 12 or 15 versions. In fact, mark my words, Tabor, Jeff Neal, a fantastic actor, by the way. Jeff Neal would argue that we gave him something like 20 scripts. We did not give you 20 scripts.
He has this thing with scripts. How many? Which ones? Talk to him about the scripts. Well, we got this script. That big it was. It wasn't that big. It was a bit smaller than that. It was bigger than that. Well, in the folder it was that big. Anyway, so I read every single page of this script, and it's not just table. What have you done to my emporium? It is OTS, camera this, blah, 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 blah. And you go through a whole page, and then you get to the bottom line. What have you done to my emporium? You turn over, and it's camera this, camera that, camera this. I read all this.
We did not. There were iterations, and you have to. When it comes to creating something like this, you can't settle for what you think is good. So it was a learning process, like it would be for most directors. But it was a learning process in the sense that we had to step away from this amazing thing that we'd created and realize that, hang on, this could be a lot better. Let's kick the sandcastle down and start again from what we've just learned, and have faith that we were going to build something even better than the previous version. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of that. But we definitely, like, if you went back and looked through our archives, you'd see probably like 12 versions of the same script. I wouldn't be able to tell you what was what, but you'd see them there. Yeah, of course.
Well, 12 complete scripts would be
Nothing.
yeah.
Would be worth nothing. Would be worth nothing if you don't put it on screen. Your scripts, you could have 12 complete scripts, and they're worth absolutely nothing until you roll camera.
Speaking of rolling camera,
Oh no.
you have your script,
Right.
you have your characters,
Correct.
but how did you approach building the visual world of Raven's Hollow?
So that was easy, right? And when I say easy, I don't mean it was a walk in the park, but it was easy in the sense that we had the most amazing costumes. Wendy Pearson, Roxy's mother, did a fantastic job with the costumes. In fact, the costumes were so good that it made you believe that the environment that the people were in, that the characters were in, was the real deal. Like, we would go out to like a forest. We ended up shooting out in Wollongong, down south at a private property, 100 acres in kind of this on the escarpment side, right? And it's lush and it's green and all this stuff. It looks good, but it's not great. It looks good, but it's not great. The moment you put the characters in there with the costumes that were designed and handmade by Wendy, those costumes fit in that. The environment automatically changes. It's like you're, 500 years into God knows what dimension, and you're there with these characters in the Raven's Hollow. So the key were the costumes. They made the difference too. We had great locations too.
We did. We had a number of good locations.
Yeah. Not going to tell you how we got some of the locations. We had great locations. It's indie filmmaking. What do you do?
We did everything on the up and up, ladies and gentlemen.
And action. Are you going to be brutal? Yeah. Good. Turn right, actually. There. So now he's turned right. Up. Kind of being played like a little guy, yeah? Yeah. I like that. Yeah. And line. And line. Action. Stand aside, forward. Cut. One more time. Rolling. And get Cooper, get Alaric and East V in, bro. That's it. Action.
What are you? Seriously?
Cut. One more.
Every director needs a secret weapon, and my secret weapon was Phil Bennett. There's no way we could have pulled off some of the crazy things that we were doing on these sets without him. In fact, Phil actually has saved my ass more times than I can count on set. He did everything from like the language, so the Ethereum language, all the way through to designing systems for us. He did all of the technical stuff for our special effects, and that was the real big thing. Like, he wore so many hats, and he's one of those unsung heroes that really kicked us forward in this production.
We wanted to quickly get the gambling table out of the way, so we decided the best way to do this was with a table flip. The safest way to do it, and so that we didn't destroy the table, was to actively have extras planted just out of the camera's view, holding onto the bottom of this table, so when the actor physically put their hand on the edge and did the flipping, they created the energy to make the table flip, but the extras actually created the flip itself. So basically, in this scene, I was laying on my back underneath the table, holding onto the legs, waiting for the actor themselves to grab the edge of that table and start that flip. And then I'd roll my body while holding onto that table and actually pass that table to more extras that were just off camera so they could catch it. So we didn't break that table and we could use it over and over again.
And speaking of that particular scene, that was the marketplace, was it not? Or
Correct,
was
though.
it?
Yes, correct.
That was quite an interesting scene to do with what we had access to.
We struggled. That marketplace is probably my kryptonite. It was my magnum opus that I still till today don't know whether I've achieved it or not. But I achieved it enough to get it on screen and get it across the line. But that was the piece for me. We shot that market scene at the very beginning. That was one of the first things we shot. And for a director who has who has very little experience, we had a few people take a chance on us. Shout out to Rob Mason, fantastic guy. Really hooked us up. He came out to our set and provided us with all this awesome stuff from different Viking sets and film sets and stuff. And we were able to use that to help kind of build the props area. We had 60 extras that day, and it was my very first day of shooting this film. And it was the toughest day on the job. It was, you know how you get to a point where you have to think twice about what you're doing? That was that point for me. That was the point where at the end of the first day, I sat back and I thought to myself, okay, this is going to either go one or two ways. Why are they going to get rid of this camera and like forget this even happened? Or we're going all the way. Fortunately enough, we had great people around us. And we had the support that we needed to just say, you know what, we're going to keep going. So that market scene started there. Then we didn't attempt it again till the very end of the film. Can you believe we shot the market scene at the very beginning? We wouldn't touch it again for another year and a half. A year and a half, and it was one of the final scenes we shot for the film. So nobody knows this, but on that day, Roxy and I were sitting there going, holy crap. We both understand what's at stake because we basically, we didn't mess it up, but we didn't do a great job of the market scene the first time around. And now a year and a half later, it's what's standing between you and finishing the film. Market scene was D-Day on like steroids. We had found this amazing location for the market. Lo and behold, 2 days beforehand, Roxy, who's our amazing executive producer, gets a phone call saying, you guys no longer have the location. We just say it, just put it in and we can cut it later. But our producer's like, don't say it. But basically what happened is we got a phone call from that location saying, look, we've had some issues on our end. We no longer have the ability to give you the property. And we couldn't get access to it 2 days before. And so our producers went absolutely crazy and Roxy took the reins. She did such a great job. And she was able to secure a location down south, funny enough, where we were renting at the time, in the backyard of that, she was able to secure land between 3 residential areas. So she was able to secure the neighbors' yards and all the land behind that, and basically get them to even tear down fences so that we would have this huge block to film on. And at the very last minute, we got it across the line. So when you see the Emporium scene, that was where the Emporium was shot.
Considering the marketplace scene was initially done at the beginning,
Yes.
and then at a second time at the end,
Right.
and would have made it all break,
Right.
what the feeling and the look of it was.
Right.
Was it the way you envisioned it? Was it the way you wanted it to look and you wanted it to feel?
No, absolutely not. What kind of a stupid question is that?
Well, it's got to start
No,
somewhere.
look, no, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't the way I wanted it to go. I wanted it to feel. It was nothing like what we had envisioned it to be. That final end market scene, absolutely not. And was it right for the film? Yes. Was it supposed to be what it was? Like, did it end up how it was supposed to be outside of our hands? Yes. Would I go back and redo it? No. Not in a heartbeat. I think when it comes to filmmaking, especially from a director's standpoint, you have to trust that the film is going to make itself when it wants to make itself. And so you can only do so much. You can only place so many things in so many places. But eventually you're going to come across something that's just going to be what it is, no matter how hard you try and what you do. And you have to have a good gauge and understand that, okay, we're able to do so much of this in our own hands, but there's so many other factors that happened in order for it to turn into what it ended up being. And you've got to understand that that in itself is how it's supposed to be. And you put your pen down and you say, yeah, I'm cool with that. And you move forward. Is it one of the most exciting kind of locations? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Do I have this opinion about the market scene purely because I didn't get it at the very beginning? Yeah, probably. It's probably a tiny bit in there that's a personal, maybe it's a personal vendetta against the market scene.
You have every right.
But no, we're incredibly proud, we're incredibly happy with how it all turned out start to finish, including the market scene.
Good.
Some more than others.
Right.
And action.
He's one. Oh, shit.
Go again.
NTV medium
One
clips.
step in, Josiah. Yep, cool. All right. Ready? Call it, Shoan.
He's busy.
He's busy.
Yeah.
Call it.
Quiet on set.
And action.
Welcome, gentlemen, to the Emporium. The Etherean people, a collection of traders and barters of every...
My friend,
Yes?
by any chance, are they free?
You're more than welcome to find out.
What are you doing? Good man.
Where was I? Oh, yes. Ethereans, artisans of every trade, from steelworking to blacksmiths, to fabric and everything in between. Now, when we go through the grounds, you'll notice a few of them are a bit more friendlier than usual. They need the business. After all, we can't trade without a coin. Now, when we go through the hollowed grounds here, we will make sure that we are...
Hold it there, Josiah. Looking that way, Josiah. Okay, let's go now.
What Lord is doing in our...
Greetings! Aurelian Tithias Quintus the Stripperus the Third. You look like a knowledgeable man. Can you tell me one noble to another, where are the privies around here?
Can't go again. Quiet on.
Oh, hello! Aurelian Tithias Quintus the Stripperus the Third. You look like a knowledgeable man. Can you tell me, one noble to another, where are the privies around here?
That would be in that direction.
Thank you so much, my good sir.
Alright, here we go.
Same thing?
Same thing.
Testing. Got audio?
Yep, action. Start talking.
Well, we'll see all this stage here. I mean, look at it. Can you see the way it's being built as well?
Yeah.
It's marvellous. It's marvellous. It's marvellous. And look, you zoom down here.
Table.
My goodness me. And look, all this started from nothing. Do you know that? All this started from nothing.
Exactly like that, one more.
But you've got to stop filling your head with these old hollow tales.
Yeah, no, all good. Is that it?
One more.
Alright, we'll just wait for the plane.
I'll tell you the line now. Enough about the end of the world. There'll be plenty time for that later. So try to say it. Try to practice it.
Do you know at the end,
Yeah.
would you rather me say, especially Roxy,
Because the final sentence is tonight we tell tales of decades old.
rather than that, because we always like a pint, a beer, why don't we go for a beer?
Why don't we go for a pint?
Yeah.
Tonight we tell.
That's only a suggestion. Instead of like going on about the last sentence you've got there, you know, of decades ago, telling tales of decades.
Can we do both lines? So then I can pick which one I want?
Yeah. It's only a suggestion. Yeah.
We'll do both and I'll pick
That's a variation.
Yeah.
So enough about the end of the world. There'll be plenty of time for that later.
So, enough about the end of the world. There'll be plenty of time for that later.
Tonight we tell tales of old decades.
Tonight we tell tales of decades old. And then we'll go for a pint.
Great. That's a wrap. Thank you.
What was one idea that you had to cut that you still miss?
Don't do this to me. I wanted to.
Well, you wanted to. Sorry. Yeah.
This was
Sorry,
really
we already have.
Okay, so
You wanted to cut out that you wanted to cut out.
easy. It was a scene, and I regret to say this, but I had to fill in, and I say had to with very strong words. I had to fill in as a guard. I had to fill in as a guard, and I had an explosive in my hand. It would go boom, but whoever was directing on the day decided it didn't look good enough, and I needed to stunt double myself and explode and jump over this box of props. And so they had this inflatable thing out, and the thing went boom, and I jumped. My acting is absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. So guess what? As soon as I got there and was gonna add it to the sequence, it didn't even make the timeline. It went on the timeline. It didn't even drop. I knew it straight away. And it went straight. So regretfully, I probably still have that clip.
Well, my team will definitely be investigating this particular footage.
Yeah.
This last part, he gets his clue.
It's fine. The General Scout will be coming soon. Don't want to look like deserters now, do we?
See? What is this? Does that sound? How would you say it?
So what was the words again? It's fine. The General will be coming here soon. We don't want to look like deserters, do we?
See, do it. Do it and do it. It's exactly the same thing. He says do it. You say do it.
Deserters now, do we?
Do it.
We're hiding from the herpes.
That's the wrong price.
Oh, Navarre!
No!
Navarre!
Wrong price.
Table, how much is a camel?
How much you what? A camel?
How much would you pay for a camel? Not more than 65 cents, right?
No. You wouldn't.
I would.
No.
Would you?
You would charge a lot more. My friend, because if you know
60, I know, I thought you were a merchant.
Action.
After all these years, I'm still saving your ass.
After all these years, you still can't swing a sword.
2 pints says my sword is sharper than yours.
You're on.
Another quiet day today at the Emporium.
Speaking of life in a film, life isn't just limited to just the visual, what you can see, what you can notice in a scene. What about the music and the sounds in the film? How did they shape the final tone of the film?
It meant everything. It meant everything. Like, it was on par with costume in this piece. It gave you, if the costume gave you the visual, it gave you the visual adventure of the picture, then the music was its counterpart. You know, seeing the imagery and the colors and the characters and the costume, seeing all of that come together, and then having the music play to it, it was almost as if you'd never saw it visually in the first place, you know? It was like you can't have one without the other. It was just fantastic. And so, and we knew this from the very beginning. I'm a massive music fan. I love music. I studied a lot of it when I was younger, and I still feel like I carry a lot of music in film. In fact, I would say I'm better at music and editing than I am directing actors and stuff like that. So that's where my passion really stems from. So early on, we brought on Marinus Van Stolk, my composer, who did a fantastic job, you know, with the music in this piece. He created 5 tracks. I believe there are 5 tracks. Don't quote me on it. Yeah, composed it from scratch, and they brought so much life to the gladiator scenes. And then he also worked with Hannah Forsyth to recreate a rendition of Parting Glass.
That was a very beautiful piece.
Oh, and when you sat in the cinema and you experienced that sequence, it was just like above and beyond. And so they created that for this piece. Hopefully that track gets released later on with the rest of it. But yeah, Marinus did a fantastic job, and he also did, and a lot of people don't know, but in post-production, he leveled a lot of the audio out for us too.
What? Bro, I'm blown away, man. That is the shit. That's exactly what I was talking about. It's exactly what I was talking about. But that's the point, isn't it? The point is to put things in like that no one, you know.
Nowadays, you've got, like, we had the recent update with our editing software. You've got AI, dialogue leveler, and all that sort of stuff. But I was fortunate enough to be able to say that I directed a film where we used pencil and paper for storyboards, along with, you know, like, not primitive editing software, but editing software that didn't have AI to it, which meant you had to go through sequence by sequence and, you know, comb it out. And it's really an auditory practice and challenge. So thank God, Marinus Van Stolk, killer composer, and even better editor for music. So I was lucky enough to have him on my side.
Yeah, he's great. Marinus, if you're watching this, your compositions of the film were great. I loved them.
Oh, you're talking about the music video? You're talking about the music video.
Do we want to talk about the music
That
video?
was killer.
That was pretty
That
cool.
was so I told him we needed something, and he knew we'd been working on it for a long time. That song for the music video actually had about 5 different lifetimes before it became what it is. Long story short, we had been holding on to that for, don't quote me, but since last year sometime. We were holding it for a long time, and I said to him, we're going to have to release it at the right time. And so we were eager, and we were all waiting, and boom, here we are. And it sounds exactly the same way as the first time I'd heard it.
And you didn't use 3,000 pages to plan that, did you?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Well, speaking of going through filmmaking and learning and getting used to things, what did producing and directing this film teach you as a filmmaker? So what new things did you learn that you'd either heard about or have never seen before?
Look, I think you can't look past AI and technology. You can't look past technology in its raw sense, as it pushes the boundaries of filmmaking. We're on the indie scale, Hollywood's over here, and we're on the indie scale, and even we're now able to do so many more things at an indie level that we weren't necessarily capable of doing even 2 years ago. It taught me that technology is a foreground, and it's not even just foreground, but sure, people say it's a tool, but it's really the battleground for filmmaking. It bridges so many gaps. AI is coming along now, and it's making things more accessible. I wouldn't say it's making things easier, but it's definitely making it more accessible. It's definitely giving us more options. And just like I go back to that story, being in the hills and not having many options and producing the best amount of work. That becomes the new challenge for future filmmakers, and even for myself, learning and moving forward. I'm understanding now that all of these extra tools that are coming out, sure, they can serve a purpose, but if you're not careful, they can also hinder a situation in the film industry for indie filmmakers that's already tough. And when you have too many options, that's what happens. And so one of the things that really enlightened me moving forward was learning how to let go, learning that making a film happens in a couple of different stages, and the most important stages of making a film aren't necessarily in your own hands. You're going to get to a point where the film will want to make itself in its own way, and you have to be okay with that in order to see it through to the very end. And then ultimately, you can look back and say, you know what, that actually was me. That was my team. That was, all of us coming together. That never happens if you're constantly trying to control this beast that is, filmmaking and directing and the rest of it. So. T3, take 16, mark it, background, action.
Oh, shit.
Once they fin your head, I'll come in.
And action.
Finn, your head. Left. Right. No, the other right.
Now, if you could go back in time and tell yourself,
Oh no, let me get ready for this one.
yeah,
Let me get ready for this first here, because I already know what you're gonna ask. Go ahead.
Now, if you could go back in time and tell your younger self you're going to be a great filmmaker one day,
Mm.
would your younger self believe you?
Like if I showed up as me? Sorry, I'm a director, so I see things visually.
See,
So,
a good
are
analysis.
we talking
of a
about like
director.
I just rock up out of nowhere, out of the bushes, and just like, hey kid?
Yeah, you pop out like a bubble from Terminator. But if you went back in time, would you think that your younger self would agree and believe what you've said, or would he go, nah, that can't be true?
Look, I think, like, would it matter? I think in the end, part of telling stories and doing what we do is realizing that, like, some things do matter, and other things are just best left to the cosmos and the rest of it. You know what I mean? Would it make a great story? Probably.
That would make a great story, yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, don't know, and I'm happy knowing that I don't know whether it matters or not. I think we're here, and we've got a hell of a lot ahead of us. Whether my younger self would see it or not, that's for him, and that's his journey.
Well, speaking of journeys, The Raven's Hollow, great film, took a very long time to put through. Where are we now? What's the next step?
What's the next step? For me?
For you. As a director, as a filmmaker, what's the next step?
Oh, it's funny. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. We celebrate, and it's great to come back and celebrate the little wins. This is a massive win.
It is a very massive win, yeah.
And shout out to everybody that made this possible. Shout out to them. But nothing changes. We go back. We never left the drawing board. We never left the lab. We're constantly working. And I would like to see myself I'd like to see myself build the beginnings of a franchise. That's where we're at. And to start that journey, we're going back to the 1800s.
It's a very good start.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, thank you for spending some time with me.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph.
This has been Behind the Scenes, The Raven's Hollow with Shoan Denholm, the director, and yours truly, Joseph Loria. Thank you.
You got to teach me how you do these interviews. You're
Naturally.
so good. Like the way you just do it, it's just like